I wasn't going to make this video, to be honest. It involves me pulling an all-night session to put it all together, and I thought that Elden Ring has so much coverage already that it might not be needed. But then I saw some reviews which came out earlier today. There was a mention of the frame rate tanking on PC in places, along with texture pop-ins and lags, so it caused me to revisit my previous assumption. If PCs are struggling, then where does that leave the folks with a PS4? So with that in mind, here I am. It's around 3 in the morning here in the UK, and I wanted to show you a completely unbiased view using my old base level PS4 to showcase some uncut, spoiler-free gameplay footage of Elden Ring. The purpose of this video is not to tell you to go and buy the game or to tell you the performance is good enough. What's good enough for me might not be up to your standards, so I'm not going to make any recommendations. The purpose of this video is to show you some snippets of gameplay where I'll point out anything I notice in terms of screen tearing, lags, jitters or glitches. I'll also let you know if my PS4 starts making aeroplane noises and trying to take off. I want you to be able to decide for yourself if you're happy with what you see. All of the footage coming up is taken from my base level PS4, it's not a PS4 Pro. I haven't got an SSD or any other modifications. The footage I show you will avoid any major story spoilers, and I'll comment as I go if anything weird or glitchy happens, and I'll show you that in detail. In terms of specifications, the PS4 and the PS4 Slim are ultimately the same in terms of the CPU, the GPU and the memory, so you should expect to see the same performance as what you see in today's video if you decide to pick up Elden Ring on a standard or a Slim PS4. For PS4 Pro users, you should expect to see some improvements based on the fact the PS4 Pro has a 30% better CPU performance and 100% better GPU performance according to the benchmarks. Long story short, if you're happy with the performance shown in this video, then I expect you'll be just fine on PS4 Pro. I hope you find this video useful. Do me a favour and leave a like and comment if it helps you out in any way. It makes a massive difference to the channel. Also, the comments seem to be a great source for other people watching to get a second opinion, so by leaving a note about your own experience with the game, you'll be helping out those people too. Right, here we go. Right guys, it's very nearly go time. I'm really excited and I'm very hopeful that I can give you very good news that it's running perfectly on the PS4. At this point, I really don't know though, so if there's anything I need to conclude or wrap up or make more formal or explain more clearly, I will do that at the end in a conclusion. Right, now let's jump in. Okay, so I've just gone through the initial kind of cutscenes and story intro. Nothing to report in terms of issues or lags or problems, so I won't spoil it for you by showing you that. There's nothing really for me to show that would add any value. All it'll do is take away from your starting experience, so looks like a lot of people have died already. Excellent. Excellent. They've obviously rushed straight off that cliff in their excitement. So if I'm spinning the camera, there's a little bit of camera blur. The view distance is obviously very limited and it's been masked really well using the kind of smoke and the fog, but that's probably a wise choice, I think. I'm trying to look closely because I heard reports of issues with frame rate and lag and whatnot with the PC version, so I'm trying to kind of pay close attention. It isn't completely smooth when you turn the camera. You can see it's not really kind of frame drops, but it doesn't feel that smooth. I don't think it's problematic at this stage. Obviously I've literally just started the game, so we'll see. Again, if you look off into the distance, the kind of the draw distance and the view distance is masked very well. You can see how it's kind of been reined a little bit back in, but that doesn't take anything away from the kind of beauty of the land. Obviously the graphical fidelity isn't really from software's bag, is it? From my own experience and from my own observations, the graphics aren't the prime target when they're building their games, which I think PS4 guys should be grateful for, because so far so good, I think, really, overall. Goodbye, Mr. Bond! It's kind of turning the camera seems to be a part of, not an issue, but it is something you may notice when you're playing. But you'll probably stop this. Oh no, you don't, you bastard. Shit, too late. Well, this will be a good test, despite the fact it's going to ruin my life. This will be a very good test. Holy hell. Run away! I kind of don't want to run away. I know it's going to kill me, but I want to see how the game handles having a lot of bodies on the screen. See if I can put some of these boys down. There's one behind me. Oh. Holy hell. Right, so mental note, when you start your own gameplay, don't do what I've done. I feel like I'm running into more danger. I do not want to tangle with him while everyone else is alive. Fucking hell. Oh, I'm trapped. Yeah, okay, I'm dead. But the good news, apart from my own ineptitude, is that the game seemed to handle that pretty well. There were a lot of bodies on the screen there. Yeah, you can see off in the distance the kind of, I know it's weird, the motions of the enemies when they are at a distance are kind of, they look to me like they're a little bit kind of jerky, but I'm not finding that a huge problem. I don't know what your thoughts are, but it is fascinating. I mean, so far so good. You know, the game looks definitely playable. You know, while it's clearly not optimal performance, I have to keep reminding myself this is a base level PS4. It's the oldest possible hardware, the lowest common denominator as regards this game release. So, you know, I'm kind of grateful that it works as well as it does, rather than being too critical. I'm only pointing things out really to just for the sake of making you aware of them in case it's not noticeable when, you know, when the video is rendered and whatnot. Right, so a lot of bodies up ahead. You can see, yeah, okay, so it's kind of, the motions are a little bit jerky. This guy's doing my head in. Bloody dragonfly trying to attack me, but can you see how the motions are a little bit kind of jerky? It's when they're off in the distance. When you're up close, when you're fighting, it's kind of okay. I don't know why I'm getting involved in this. I've got no health at all. Let's just observe, shall we? Yeah, you can see how it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but again, I personally wouldn't let that bother me. The game's kind of good enough when you're engaged in the fight yourself that it doesn't stop you from making progress. I know that was cowardly, but I've got no health. Oh! Yeah, you can see as it loaded in again, just a slight delay. With everything popping in just, I know, half second, a second after the loading. Again, not game breaking, but definitely something worth noting. Yeah, you can see off in the distance, see the kind of harpies. It's weird that when you are in the fight, it all seems to work pretty nicely. It's stuff off in the distance that looks strange. Again, I don't know whether that will stop you playing the game or make you wait for your PS5 if ever you are to get one. See, it's weird. See how it all seems to work pretty nicely. Now I'm actually here fighting them. But it's when I was approaching a bit of a distance, it's just odd. Very odd. Okay, so we've got our horse. That's really cool. Okay. Yeah, so the horse, I'm going to test out our little horse. I'm not going to tell you how you get the horse, but we're going to see if we can call him. Let's see if we can. Let's buzz around a little bit, shall we? See how the game plays when we're moving at speed. I'm going to avoid these guys. Just keep moving. Oh, he doesn't look friendly. Oh! Okay, so we've encountered another mini-boss. We're going to keep running, and hopefully he's going to de-aggro. I don't really want to show you too much of that. Oh my god, there's giants up ahead! Okay, so fighting from horseback is going to take a bit of practice, but you get the idea. Rules. Oh shit. Yeah, you can see where the motions there were a little bit jerky. And maybe it's because I'm turning the camera loads. Because I'm attacking from horseback. It's probably making you a little dizzy. It's certainly making me a little bit dizzy. Can you see how the motions are jerky there? I'll rerun it as slow-mo. Just to show you the issue. Again, it's not... I don't think it would cause me to put the game down as such, but I would hope that they will patch it and perhaps make some performance improvements. Can I heal one on the horseback? Excellent. Yeah, you can see... Yeah, it's not ideal. It's definitely not ideal. Especially when you're locked on. Stuff going on, it gets a bit much. Okay, so I suck at fighting on horseback at the moment, but that's fine. We're not here to watch me be good at the game. Not until I actually become good at the game. Oh, that didn't go well. Right, so they dismounted me then. Much better at fighting when I'm actually on my own 2 feet. But yeah, that was a good example of the game not performing brilliantly. Not, you know, game breaking as such, but kind of immersion breaking, if that's dead important to you. You know, again, it's your call what you think about that. I'd be curious to know if that kind of stuff is going to make you wait or put the game down or pray for a patch. I know, let me know what you think. Did you see them load in? The enemies? Did you see that? I'll rerun it again. While I'm talking, I'll kind of show you as they loaded in slow-mo. So there is definitely some stuff going on here that is not ideal. And I hate telling you that because it might put some of you off. And that's sad because the game looks like it's going to be amazing. And I'm only like, what, 2 hours in at this point? I haven't leveled up, I haven't been playing properly, I've just been running around, but the game does look like it's going to be incredible. And it's just a shame that there are bits that are so imperfect. How do I get off my horse? There we go. Nope, not messing with you. You can actually even see when I'm just stood still. See how the shadows are kind of playing on my cloak? I'm literally just stood in the shade of a tree. And you can see how it's kind of just flashing on and off, and obviously that's It's supposed to give the impression of the tree moving and the sunlight kind of glinting through and touching. But yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not perfect, is it? But just so you're aware, it's not going to stop me playing the game. Welcome your thoughts on what you feel about that and about everything else you've seen so far. Obviously, your comments and your own experiences would be useful as well if you have been playing the game and you're watching this out of curiosity. Your comments will probably help give others a second opinion if they're on the fence. But to conclude, guys, yes, there are definitely some imperfections on the base PS4. If you watch the footage, then you will have noticed some issues with the texture rendering and the animations when enemies are at a distance. The movements seem a little jerky and off, for want of a better description. I'd be surprised if the game is running at a solid 30 FPS. It certainly doesn't feel like it. During fights, the animations seem largely fine, but being on horseback can cause some issues when you're fighting. The loading screens between deaths and just before cutscenes are pretty long, about 30 seconds or so. The good news though is that my PS4 didn't make a sound during the 2 hours of gameplay, no fan noises at all. Obviously it's for you to decide if you're happy with the performance. For myself, I would hope that there will be future patches to improve on these issues, but I personally would not put the game down and refuse to play it because of them. Again, it's up to you to decide for yourself how you feel about it. I'd be curious to see what you think though. Will you still be playing the game, or will you be hoping for future patches to clear this stuff up? Anyway guys, thank you for watching. I hope you found this useful. Take care, stay safe, bye bye now.